to Elijah Plus, and today, as you see by the thumbnail, I'm going to talk about all the products that I have been using and what has been the best products that I've used, and then going over the Apple products that have been released this year and going from S tier to D tier of Apple products that has been released. So I've been building up my quote-unquote Apple obsession when it comes to almost having every Apple product. I don't have the Mac Studio, I don't have a Mac Mini, I don't have the Mac Pro, I don't have like the HomePod original, but majority of everything else when it comes to phones, iPads, AirPods, HomePods, Apple TV, MacBooks, I've had a lot of that stuff in that area. And so I'm just gonna explain over the course of my usage for each product and how I feel about it. Automatic S tier phone is the 13 Pro that I have currently. I love the color. The Sierra Blue is like the best iPhone color that I think Apple has came up with the Pro series. Great battery life, great cameras, and I love the 120 hertz refresh rate on the screen. Just a great iPhone in general. I'm going to show you a couple pictures of what I took with the 13 Pro. Next up, one I briefly had is the iPhone 13. It was a great color. Starlight was what I chose, and at first I wasn't gonna get the 13 Pro, but then I gained some extra money, I was able to get it. But I loved how good it was. Cameras were great. Didn't really like the 60 hertz refresh rate, but other than that, it was still a pretty decent phone for what it was. Next up is the iPhone 11 for A tier. It was a great color phone. I love the bright yellow that it was. It was really comfortable to hold in the hand compared to like the Pro that I have and the more squared off edge design from the 12 series and up. It was a decent size of a phone to hold in the hand, like I said before, and what a great color, a bright yellow, so I can definitely see like where my phone is if I lost it. Took some good pictures, things like that, and it was just a good phone. For C tier, this phone, the iPhone SE, I believe it was the 2nd gen. It was okay. Battery life really sucked. It felt old-fashioned at the time of where I was just getting my first iPhone. It was pretty good. The camera quality was okay. Wasn't anything really grand, but it was just something that I was ready to get rid of. So it was a pretty decent phone. Next up, for definitely being an S tier product, has been the Apple AirPods Pro 2. The main contender really just was the case, just because you can, it's basically like an AirTag but in the case, and so you can find the case when you lose the case. You can play a sound off of it. That was the major reason why I bought the AirPods Pro 2. Other than that, some other features like adaptive transparency, I love that feature. So when there's super loud environments, it will automatically turn down the volume with your AirPods on. Next up is the AirPods 3rd gen. It was a pretty good pair of AirPods. Honestly, in some cases, it sounded way better than my 1st gen AirPods, and I've had those, since 2019 before I sold them this year. And so, yeah, it was just really great sound, great product, and great battery life. Next up for an S tier product has definitely been the AirPods Max. The AirPods Max was like my questionable buy because I was debating, should I get it or should I not, especially paying the $549 price tag. But after finally getting it and listening to it, I was like, oh my goodness, the quality of sound that I'm getting from these is immaculate. 20 hours of battery life, great battery life, great sound overall, and they felt comfortable when wearing them. So a really good pair of AirPods. So next A tier product was definitely been the 1st gen AirPods Pro. Still had great sound, great noise cancellation. Even though I think since they added adaptive transparency on the 2nd gen AirPods Pro, I think the 1st gen had better noise cancellation, but the 2nd gen still has great noise cancellation as well. But the 1st gen was great when it first came out. It was great sound, and I really couldn't hear anything when they put the noise cancellation inside. And then we have the second gen AirPods. They were pretty good in sound quality, pretty good battery life. The only difference is, after wearing them for a little while, they weren't the most comfortable to put in the ear, just because I feel like they were kind of tailored in a lot when having them sit in your ear for a while. So I think that was just the main contender of why I got annoyed with them. But other than that, it was, their first gen or iconic AirPods. Next up, A-tier iPad Pro with the M1 chip. It was a great iPad. Love the Face ID and the 120 hertz display. It was big enough with the 11-inch to write on and take notes for college. It was just a great iPad. Loved it. Next on our list, and this will fill in for our first B tier, and this will be the iPad Air 4 and the iPad Mini. They were good iPads. Both had 60 hertz refresh rates. Sorry. But yeah, it wasn't really anything too special with them. I just love the color options that they had, and that's why I got them. So pretty good for their price range, things like that. The M2 MacBook Air is such a great computer. I love how they went with the more flat edge design with the higher end MacBook Pros. And this new midnight color is such a great color, even though it attracts a lot of fingerprints. But overall, it's super powerful, super light, and it's a really, really great MacBook. Now, the M1 MacBook Air is just so iconic for what it is. Definitely another S-tier product, just because it blew out the water when it came to its first release and how it was doing better than Intel, and it was just great to see. It was, a fanless design. It was working smoothly and perfectly with power efficiency and things like that. Definitely a great product, but still keeping the classic iconic wedge design. So with this Intel MacBook Pro that came out in 2019, that was my first MacBook that I got. And man, the fan blew. I would hardly touch projects because of that. When I was working on my YouTube channel for a little bit, before I became more consistent, the fan would just blow when I was making edits on iMovie. And I'm just like, what is going on? Even sometimes making simple essays and having multiple tabs open, the fan would just blow all the time. And that kind of ruined my experience with the MacBook Pro. Next up is the HomePod Mini. I love my little HomePod Mini, especially in yellow. Yellow is one of my favorite colors of all time. And I love how small it is, but it packs so much noise in a good way. And so even though I sometimes wish it sounded louder, but overall for its size and its room factor in some cases, it's a great little speaker to use in spaces. Even to also connect to HomePod Minis to make a stereo sound speaker for your TV is also great as well. Next up, we have the Apple TV and the new Siri remote. It's a great product in some cases. You can't really do much but just stream stuff. I haven't really played games on it. But other than that, for what it does, it's a good product, but it's nothing that has like super benefited my life in ways than with my other products. So it's an average product. Next up is my MagSafe battery pack. The reason why I want to include this is because I enjoy it, so when I use it for emergency purposes when it comes to charging my devices. But I notice anytime that I charge it, like when it's at low power on my phone, like 20%, it kind of takes a while to like recharge to get to enough battery life. But if I do it when it's above 50%, it kind of charges faster. So to me, it was like, that's kind of weird, but it's still a pretty decent product. And for our second to last S-tier product has definitely been the AirTags. I love AirTags. They have been a lifesaver, especially when trying to find my keys. Boy, would I lose my keys. But being able to just track my items and being able to not have a subscription like Tile and to integrate with Find My has been a wonderful use. And the pricing, I think Apple has done a fantastic job when they're pricing. A 4-pack for $100, that's not bad at all for Apple. So I'm glad that AirTag is existent. Now we move on to the Apple Watch Series 6, and then another one will pop up in the same spot for the Apple Watch Series 7. Both of those watches have been okay, incremental upgrades. I definitely love the colors for each one that I chose. And then just the simple things. The battery life was okay. I wish it was a bit longer, but other than that, it was a cool watch. I loved how with the watch I can get notifications and not always have to pull out my phone. And That way I can see when it is appropriate to pull out my phone to respond to something or whatever. And then for our last S tier product has definitely been the Apple Watch Ultra. I at first wasn't gonna get the Apple Watch Ultra, but I'm glad I did, and I was gonna go ahead and just get the Series 8, but I felt like it wasn't that big of an upgrade for me to buy, so I was like, if I'm gonna get an upgrade, I might as well just do the Apple Watch Ultra. So after selling a few of my things and saving up some money, I was finally able to get it, and boy, it is such a fantastic watch. I love how durable it is, I love the 36 hours of battery life, and everything that's meant to be. It's just so amazing, even though I'm not doing extreme stuff. And then finally we have the last product of the list, and that is that the studio display, and it's in the A tier. I love the 5K Retina display. There's a few things that I would probably change if I was designing it. Making the bezels slightly thinner, I think, has been my only complaint with it, but the sound quality has been fantastic, and everything about it's just fine, with the webcam being okay. So this has been my tier list of each product that I've owned and how I felt about each product. I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Make sure you hit like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in another video.